Coronation Street fans suspect new victim in shocking LSD twist, and it's not Gary Windass. Loyal viewers of Coronation Street have started to formulate a fresh theory regarding who Summer Spellman and Nina Lucas may have inadvertently abandoned in a life-threatening situation, and it's not the commonly assumed Gary Windass. Earlier this week on the ITV soap, fans were left baffled after a harrowing sequence of events showed Summer and Nina descending into a state of panic. The pair appeared deeply distressed following a drug-induced incident, having ingested LSD during a midsummer gathering hosted by Adi Alahan. Adi, in an attempt to redefine his image and break free from his boring reputation, something his soon-to-be stepmother Bernie Winter was quick to point out, decided to throw a lively summer party. However, the seemingly innocent get-together quickly spiraled out of control. The mood shifted dramatically when Adi discovered that Brody Michaelis was attempting to peddle drugs among the guests. Furious and determined to restore order, Adi confronted Brody, but the latter resisted, leading to a tense standoff. It wasn't until Bernie and Kit Green intervened that Brody was finally removed from the premises, though not without leaving behind the illicit substances. Intrigued and encouraged by Summer, who casually mentioned she'd tried LSD while in America, Adi and Nina agreed to sample the drug. What began as youthful experimentation rapidly turned into a disturbing nightmare. As the evening wore on, things took a darker turn. Lauren Bolton mistakenly consumed from Adi's spiked drink and was soon overwhelmed by terrifying hallucinations, including a vision of her previous abuser, Joel Deering. Meanwhile, Summer and Nina, in the throes of their own trip, claimed they had seen something so shocking it left them shaken and full of remorse. Later, the two were shown sneaking into a dimly lit Roy's Rolls cafe, visibly distressed and debating whether to return to the location of the incident. Nina appeared determined to go back and confront the situation, but Summer insisted it was too dangerous, urging her to stay put and keep quiet. During the episode broadcast on Wednesday, June 25th, fans were given a few more pieces of the puzzle. Nina and Summer, desperate for clarity, attempted to retrace their steps from the chaotic night. However, their efforts were met with more confusion as they failed to uncover any tangible signs that something tragic had occurred. They made a pact to put the ordeal behind them. But elsewhere in Weatherfield, Lauren suffered a sudden collapse. Doctors at the hospital later revealed that she had sustained a broken rib and a ruptured spleen, likely caused by a fall as she attempted to flee underworld. Meanwhile, Adi found himself giving a police statement concerning the drugs found in Lauren's system. He chose to lie, claiming Summer and Nina were unaware of the presence of LSD at the party. Though they disagreed with his decision to cover up the truth, Summer and Nina reluctantly agreed to support his version of events. But in private, the guilt began to consume them. Nina urged Summer to come clean to the police. That's when she dropped a shocking revelation. They had left someone for dead that night. Initially, fans assumed Gary Windass was the victim of their psychedelic misadventure, especially with upcoming spoilers hinting at his hospitalization. However, growing speculation among viewers has turned to another character, Dylan Wilson, who hasn't been seen on screen since the infamous party. Dylan had been spotted in early promotional photos alongside other young Weatherfield residents, stirring concern over his unexplained absence since the chaotic events of that evening. As the mystery deepens, fans are left wondering who really fell victim to that fateful night, and will Summer and Nina be able to live with the truth? Disaster. George left frozen in horror. Weatherfield is no stranger to drama, but a new storyline is set to push Coronation Street into even darker territory, as longtime resident Fiz Dobbs finds herself in a terrifying life-or-death situation, one that could change the street forever. In upcoming scenes on the ITV soap, viewers will witness a moment of horror as Fiz, played by Jenny McAlpine, is caught off guard during an otherwise ordinary day. Battling with heavy shopping bags, she makes her way down the cobbled street, unaware that danger is racing straight toward her. A casual conversation with George Shuttleworth, Tony Maudsley, turns out to be a potentially fatal distraction as Fiz takes one wrong step into the road and into the path of a speeding Porsche. Behind the wheel, two of Weatherfield's most troubled teens, Dylan Wilson, Liam McChain, and Brody Michaelis, Ryan Mulvey. What begins as a joyride quickly escalates into a potential tragedy, with George watching helplessly from the sidelines, unable to prevent what could be a life-shattering moment. A friendship forged in darkness. Dylan and Brody's paths first crossed behind bars at the Secure Training Center, STC, where they were both detained following their involvement in the harrowing and senseless killing of Mason Radcliffe. At first, Brody presented himself as an ally, someone who understood Dylan's struggle and isolation. But the friendship quickly soured. Brody's manipulative side emerged, and Dylan found himself the target of bullying, control, and emotional abuse. Tensions reached breaking point in the STC, but despite their hostile past, both boys were eventually released and returned to the familiar surroundings of Coronation Street. While many expected further clashes, what followed surprised everyone. The two appeared to reach an uneasy peace. Their shared experiences behind bars seemed to forge a truce, or at least a willingness to tolerate each other. But trouble was never far behind. Back on the street and headed for trouble. In recent episodes, Dylan and Brody have fallen back into dangerous patterns. The pair made an uninvited appearance at Adi Alahan's Adam Hussein ill-fated midsummer party, where they were seen trying to offload drugs among the unsuspecting guests. Their reckless behavior hinted at deeper issues brewing beneath the surface, a desperate need to assert power, control, or perhaps simply feel something again. Now, in a shocking twist, the two somehow gain access to a luxury Porsche, the origins of which remain a mystery. Are they simply joyriding, or is there something more sinister at play? Whatever the truth, the results are the same. A speeding car, two reckless teens, and one beloved local stepping straight into their path. Fiz's life hangs in the balance. Fiz Dobbs is no stranger to adversity. Over the years, viewers have seen her weather heartbreak, personal struggles, and family challenges with courage and resilience. But this time, she may not be able to fight her way out. As she steps into the road, caught off guard, distracted, and unaware, the Porsche barrels toward her. George Shuttleworth, who had only moments earlier been speaking with her, is left frozen in shock. What he sees may be too much to bear. For George, the potential loss hits particularly hard. Still recovering from the emotional blow of losing partner Eileen Grimshaw, who ended their relationship and moved to Thailand to be with her son Jason, George is already navigating life with a heavy heart. But the prospect of witnessing yet another tragic moment, this time involving a neighbor and friend, may prove too much. Could George, the Undertaker known for his quiet strength and compassion, soon be faced with the unbearable task of preparing Fiz's funeral? What happens next? As the incident unfolds, Weatherfield residents will be left reeling. Questions are already swirling among fans. Will Fiz survive the terrifying incident, or will she become the next victim of teenage recklessness? What exactly are Dylan and Brody up to, and how did they manage to get hold of a Porsche? Could this be the breaking point that sends Dylan down a path of no return? And will George be able to cope with yet another emotional blow, or is this the beginning of a darker journey for him as well? The emotional and physical fallout from this moment is bound to ripple through the community. Friends, family, and neighbors will be forced to confront hard truths about trust, youth crime, grief, and the fragility of life. Don't miss a moment of the gripping drama. Coronation Street airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is available to stream anytime on ITVX.